The next feature we'll look at is the Cancel Lessons and Yard Duties feature. If you've put your activities in using the Student Activities section for adding camps, excursions and so on, then you may not need to use this function as much because it will automatically cancel those classes for you. If you've got smaller activities that don't warrant the extra effort of putting a student activity in, or that you find out late notice, so you just want to do it on the day, you can use the Cancel Lessons and Change Rooms screen. This will give you all your role classes down the left-hand side and your periods across the top. It'll again give you warnings if you've got groups in a multi-role class group, so combined classes and things like that. But useful particularly for year level activities where you've got an entire year level going out, even if it's only for example, an assembly or a workshop or something like that for a period or two. You might cancel that class for the period. You'll need to select a reason, which I haven't got set up here actually. But that will then make that class not exist for that period. That will mean that the room then becomes free. It will mean that the teacher also becomes free. So if, for example, this class 7A were out on an excursion for a couple of periods that I hadn't put in separately, that room, CAM 108, will become free, and the teacher, DOS, will also become available to take a replacement. That doesn't take into account whether that teacher is also going with the class, but if that's the case, I should have marked it in the teachers absent as well. I would put them down as going on an excursion, and that would then mark them as absent. So when I go into teacher replacements, that teacher will not exist for the purposes of replacements. So keep in mind that they are all linked, the cancel lessons and the teachers absent. If you have both active, then the teacher won't be available for replacement because they're on the excursion. If you only choose one of those options, then we have a problem. Or it may be that that teacher is not going with that group of students. So we can cancel classes there to make teachers available or to make rooms available. And we can also do room changes. So we click on the class that we want to move, click on the Change Room button, and we come up with a list of all the classrooms that are available at that time slot. So I've got a whole lot of rooms here. I've got them labelled by particular areas and some that are just general purpose classrooms. I might put that class into the art room, for example, and that will then show in the blue font. Can be a little bit hard to see sometimes, but it is a dark blue font to indicate that there has been a room change there. When the classes are cancelled, they'll show up highlighted in yellow. You can also cancel all lessons for an entire period. So if, for example, you want to run an assembly, but you don't need all the teachers there, you can click on the first period, cancel period lessons, and it will cancel everything that happens in that period. You can also use the cancel role class lessons to cancel across the screen, so horizontally, so for an entire role class. I'm just going to go back and add a cancellation reason, and then we'll come back and have a look at what it does. So I've just added an incursion as an option for cancelling classes. So I was just talking about the cancel period lessons. If I choose that option and then select my reason, yes, I want to cancel all of these, that will now cancel everything that happens in period 1. So all of those teachers will now be available to be used in period 1, though chances are they won't need to do anything because there are no classes running. But it would mean that if they're not allocated anything during that time, I could use them as a replacement later in the day. I'll just cancel again. If you click on the same button, it will reverse whatever you've done. So if you've selected cancel period lessons, select everything in that period, click that button again while you're still in that period, and it will cancel them. If I want to cancel all of 7D's classes for the whole day, for example, just that homeroom are out, I click on Cancel Role Class Lessons. And again, multi-role, yes, I want to cancel those, and I'll deal with them later. So that cancels all of their classes throughout the day, including this extra one, which is part of the multi-role class group. And in my case, that's something I would need to go and fix up, because there will be students from other classes that are involved in that will still be at school. Again, we click on cancel roll class lessons to remove it for the day. The other option, if you're not going to double click on the individual periods, again, I just double clicked to make that one yellow to cancel it, and again double click to get rid of it. You can use the cancel lesson period button, which serves the same purpose. So cancel lesson period to cancel one period, cancel roll class lessons cancels one homeroom or one class for the whole day, and cancel period lessons cancels all of the classes for one period. And again, change room to change the room for that class. If you're doing room changes, you can then add those to the bulletin by going to the bulletin section and ticking the room changes button. And I'll just show you what that looks like. Remember, preview button to get to the bulletin. Take it into Word just to get it nice and neat. Teacher absences, replacement teachers, and then room changes will show up at the bottom. That will also go onto any other sheets that you're printing out, whether it be the teacher timetables or the bulletin or the teacher changes sheet for CRTs. That will be updated. Something certainly worth remembering, if you're printing out a teacher changes sheet for a CRT and you've got a room change, then it won't actually tell you that there's been a room change, and you might need to note that on there manually to say, hey, this class was supposed to be in another room, please go and get them from there and take them to this new room.